Manual testing. What is software testing? Software testing is part of software development process. Software testing is an activity to detect and identify the defects in the software. The objective of testing is to release quality product to the client. Software quality. Quality is defined as justification of all requirements of a customer in a product. Quality is not defined in the product, it is defined in the customer's mind. Quality software is reasonably bug-free, delivered on time, within budget, meets requirements and expectations, maintainable. Product versus project. If software application is developed for specific customer based on requirement, then it is called project. If software application is developed for specific customer based on the requirement, then it is called project. If software application is developed for multiple customers based on market requirements, then it is called product. Why do we need testing? Ensure that software is bug free. To ensure that system meets customer requirements and software specifications. Ensure that system meets end user expectations. Fixing the bugs identified after release is more expensive. Okay. Error. Any incorrect human action that produces a problem in the system is called error. Defect or bug. Deviation from expected behavior to actual behavior of system is called defect. Failure. The deviation identified by end user while using system is called failure. Why software has bugs normally? Miscommunication or no communication, software complexity, programming errors, changing requirements, lack of skilled testers. Software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle SDLC is a process used by software industry to design, develop, and test softwares. Steps in software SDLC are requirement analysis, design, development, testing, maintenance. Requirement collection, feasibility study, design, development, testing, and maintenance. This is SDLC. Waterfall model, advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of waterfall model. Quality of the product will be good, robust, since requirement changes are not allowed. Changes of finding bugs will be less. Chances of finding bugs will be less. Since requirement changes are not allowed, chances of finding bugs will be less. Initial investment is less since testers are hired at later stages. Preferred for small projects where requirements are freezed. Disadvantages of waterfall model. Requirement changes are not allowed. If there is defect in requirement, that will be continued in later phases. Total investment is more because time taking for rework on defect is time consuming, which leads to high investment. Testing will start only after coding. The goal of software tester is to find bugs, find them as early as possible, and make sure that they get fixed. Why is testing necessary? If any level of testing cannot declare that there is no defect in the product, then why it is required at all? If any level of testing cannot declare that there is no defect in the product, then why is it required at all? Development people assume that Whatever they have developed is as per customer requirements and will always work, but it is imperative to create real life scenario and undertake actual execution of a product at each level of software building, including system level, to access whether it works or not, to assess whether it really works or not. Developers may have excellent skills of coding, but integration issues can be present when different units do not work together, even though they work independently. Yeah, one must bring individual units together and make final product, as some defects may be possible when the sources are developed by people sitting at different places. The primary role of software testing is not to demonstrate the correctness of software product, but to expose hidden defects so that they can be fixed. Testing is done to protect the common users from any failure of system during usage. Testing is a process of demonstrating that errors are not present in the product. This approach is used in acceptance testing, where if application meets acceptance criteria, then it must be accepted by the customer. Testing gives number of detects. Testing gives number of defects present, which indirectly gives a measurement of software quality. More number of defects indicate bad software and process of development. Software bug occurs when the software doesn't do something that the product specification says it should do. Software bug, software bug occurs when the software does something that the product specification says it shouldn't do. Also, the software does something that product specification doesn't mention. The number one cause of software bugs is the specification. Next is design, next code, and small other reasons. The bugs are caused for many reasons, but main one is specification. Specifications are the largest bug producer. It constantly changing. It's constantly changing, or it's not communicated well to entire development team. Planning software is vitally important. If it's not done correctly, bugs will be created. The next large source of bugs is design. If not designed well, then bugs are occurred. Cost of bugs. In specification, it will be low. Then design, it gradually increases in design, code, test, and release. The cost are logarithmic. That is, they increase tenfold as time increases. A bug found and fixed during the early stages when the specification is being written might cost next to nothing, or 10 cents in our example. The same bug, if not found until the software is coded and tested, might cost $1 to $10. But if a customer finds it, then it could easily top $100. Example, root cause of problem was software wouldn't work on very popular PC platform. If in the early specification stage, someone has researched that PCs were popular and specified that the software needed to be designed and tested to work on those configurations, the cost of that effort would have been almost nothing. If that didn't occur, a backup would have been for software testers to collect samples of popular PCs and verify the software on them. They would have found the bug, but it would have been more expensive to fix because the software would have to be debugged, fixed, and retested. The goal of software tester is to find bugs, find them as early as possible, and make sure they get fixed. Software testing. It is a process to test an application to find out error in it, checking the software is it okay. The goal of software testing is to find bug, verifying and validating that a software application is bug free. Testing types: manual testing, automation testing. Manual testing Manual testing includes testing a software manually, that is without using any automated tool or script. Automation testing. Automation testing, which is also known as test automation, is when a tester writes scripts and uses another software to test the product. This process involves automation of manual process. Automation testing is used to rerun the test scenarios that were performed manually quickly and repeatedly. Software testing is divided into two types: static testing and dynamic testing. In dynamic testing, there are two types: white box testing and black box testing. In white box testing, there are two types: unit or component testing and integration testing. In black box testing, in white box testing, there are two types. They are unit testing, unit or component testing, and integration testing. In black box testing, there are two types: system testing and user acceptance testing. In the user acceptance testing, there are alpha and beta testing. Static technique, static testing, static testing techniques. Analysis of a program carried out without executing the program. Analysis of program carried out without executing the program. Done during verification process, that is before development. As we know, 85% errors found in the design phase. It is the code is tested in static testing? No. The documentation is tested. Software development continues, and ends with documentation. Software development continues, and ends with documentation. Early documentation is used to define the software to be built. Later documentation covers the software training, installation, and operation. Static is not while running. Static is not while running. The primary goal of static testing is reduce defect by reducing defects in documentation from which software is developed. Primary goal of software static testing is reduce defects in documentation from which software is developed. Review is type of static testing done before execution. Review is a process or meeting during which a work, product, or set of work products is presented to managers, users, customers, or other interested parties for comment or comment. Walkthrough review. It is a formal process. It is led by authors. Author guide the participants through the document according to his or her thought process to achieve a common understanding to gather feedback. Use, useful for people. Walkthrough review useful for people if they are not from software discipline, who are not used to or cannot easily understand software development process. Inspection review. It is the most formal review type. It is led by trained moderators. During inspection, the documents are prepared and checked thoroughly by reviewers before the meeting. During inspection, the documents are prepared and checked thoroughly by reviewers before the meeting. Informal review. Unplanned and documented. Unplanned and undocumented informal review. Technical review. Documented defined fault detection process. Includes peer and technical experts. No management participant. Static testing before execution. In this reviews will be there. Walkthrough, walkthrough meetings or walkthrough or non-formal inspection, formal finding default, informal review, unplanned and undocumented, technical review, fault process. In static testing, the documentation is tested and it is done before execution. Reviews are done here. Walkthrough or not formal inspection, formal finding fault, informal review, unplanned and undocumented, technical review, fault process. Dynamic testing techniques. The process of evaluating a system or component based upon its behavior during execution. The process of evaluating a system or component based on based upon its behavior during execution. Dynamic testing techniques. The process of evaluating a system or component based on based upon its behavior during execution. Dynamic testing, two types, white box and black box. Black box testing is functional testing. High level mainly tested by tester, system plus UAT. And these two types, system testing and UAT testing, user acceptance testing. And white box testing is low level testing done by programmer. Unit testing and integration testing will be done with this. Levels of testing. Unit testing. Levels of testing. Unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. Unit testing. In unit testing, individual component of software tested. In unit testing, individual component of software tested. The purpose of this testing is that each module is working properly. If it focuses on smallest unit of software design done by developer by using sample input and observing its sample output. Example, in a programming we are checking if loop, method or function is working fine. Unit testing. In unit testing, individual component of software is tested. The purpose of this testing is that each module is working properly. It focuses on smallest unit of the software's design done by developer by using sample input and observing its sample output. Example, in a program, we are checking if loop method or function is working fine. Integration testing. In integration testing, individual units are combined and tested as group. Integration testing. In integration testing, individual units are combined and tested as a group done by developer. In this top-down approach, bottom-down approach, and sandwich and big bang approaches will be the main purpose of integration testing. Main purpose of integration testing to check modules are communicating each other as data flow is done correctly or not, which is technical document. To check modules are communicating each other, data flow and versus the technical document. System testing. In this testing, we can test whole application. Complete integrated software is tested, done by tester. System testing. In this testing, we can test whole application. Complete or integrated software is tested, done by tester. Acceptance testing. A level of software testing in which software is tested for user acceptance. UAT done at client location where software is actually used. A level of software testing, user acceptance testing, is a level of software testing in which software is tested at user acceptance done at client location where software is actually used. Alpha testing and beta testing. Alpha testing done by tester company in presence of customer. Done by tester done by tester in company in presence of customer. Beta testing done by customer to check software is okay, satisfied, required. Unit testing and integration testing are white box testing, internal logic, and done by developer. System testing and user acceptance testing are black box testing. No need to check the code, test the code. Only functional only functional testing, and done by tester. And system testing is the actual testing and done by tester. Testing types. Functional testing is a process. Functional testing is a process through which QAs determine if a piece of software is acting in accordance with predetermined requirements. Functional testing is a process through which QAs determine if piece of software is acting in accordance with predetermined requirements. It uses black box testing techniques in which the tester has no knowledge of the internal logic, internal system logic. Functional testing is only concerned with validating if a system works as intended. Functional testing. Testing what system does. Functional testing is type of black box testing. Does it actually working or not? The ultimate goal of functional testing is to ensure that software works according to the specifications and user expectations. Tester inputs values test cases and compares actual and output expected output. Actual output and expected output. Registration functionality, login functionality will be examples for this. Non-functional testing, load testing, reliability, the readiness of a system, usability test. Example. A practical example would be checking how many people can simultaneously check out of shopping basket. Non-functional testing, load testing, reliability, the readiness of a system, usability testing. Example, a practical example would be checking how many people can simultaneously check out of a shopping basket. Black box testing without code, high level. Black box testing is that kind of software testing you can do when you need to, when you do, when do, when you do not have the source code, just the executable code in hand. The testing is done without internal knowledge of the products. Black box testing. White box testing with the code, low level. Monitoring internal structure, check internal logic done by developer. Smoke testing. Testing on newly released build, compulsory required. It is the first testing on newly released build. Build verification test. Check the deployment software build is stable or not. Checks the deployment software is build is stable or not. Example, QC build, QA testing, compulsory testing, smoke testing. Okay. Example is in login page, username, password, sign in will be the mandatory things. Checking whether these mandatory things are working or not. And there is also a remember me button, but it is optional as of now. And smoke test. Sanity testing. Testing on newly released build. Check compulsory plus optional. All are all are compulsory in this with the remember big button also in the login page. Retesting. Testing functionality once again. Retesting. Running if code changes. Rerunning if code changes. If it is sorry, retest regression testing. Okay. Regression testing. Rerunning if code changes. It is overall testing whenever new change is occurred. Rerunning functional plus non-functional test. Code change does impact existing function or not. After change code, is software works okay or not. Every time a new module is added leads to changes in the program. This type of testing makes sure that whole component works properly even after adding components to the complete program. Smoke testing versus sanity testing. Only compulsory feature smoke testing is only compulsory feature tested in new build. Sanity testing is also compulsory feature, compulsory testing plus optional because it is stable build. Static testing, review, inspection, walkthrough. Test software without executing software. Just test documents. So static test. This test done for avoid bugs in early stage. Review testing. Look and feel. Okay. White static testing. Early defect detection and correction. To get fewer to get fewer defects at later stage of testing. Static testing has three types: review, walkthrough, inspection. Review. Review done before development, that is simple document. Read the document, correct or not. Document correct and complete. Requirement review. Design review. Test plan review. Review testing can be done by anybody. Manager is manager, developer, tester, coworker, etc. Walkthrough. It is informal, any time, not planned, not done whenever required. Author of document will explain to their team. Inspection. Most formal. 3 to 8 people in this meeting. Proper meeting. Schedule which is intimated by mail. Dynamic testing. And testing which is done after code development. The main purpose of dynamic testing is to test the software behavior with the dynamic variables. Dynamic testing requires code to be executed. Static testing, just analyze the code, no need execution. Alpha testing, it is final testing in development. Advantage, immediate solution is possible. Beta testing, it's first testing in client side. It is also called as user acceptance testing. Disadvantage, no immediate solution. It if defect is found. Installation testing, providing required resources at a client location. It is type of testing in which test engineer check deployment process is successful as per user guideline. Deployment document or user manual. It is document prepared by project manager. Deployment document or user manual. It is document prepared by project manager. Usability testing. Checking application for user friendliness. Monkey testing. Used for game testing. Used for random input to check the application or system will crash. Portability testing. Developed application should support multiple environment. Post error testing to check valid error will display. Exploratory testing. When tester, when test engineer does not have any, does not have idea of functional testing, then he is learning through or exploring application. Exploratory testing. When test engineer does not have an idea of functional testing, then he is learning through exploring application. End-to-end testing. We can check all internal component for successful response. Internal component like client, network, server, database, etc. are working fine. Means testing internal component. Security testing. Checking security of application. Reliability testing. The developed application should support longer duration, that is stability. Audit. It is independent evaluation of software. It is independent evaluation of software. Inspection. It is formal evaluation of software. Concurrency testing. Multi-user testing. Debugging. Executing program line by line for finding errors. Some of most popular SDLC models are waterfall model, V model, VNV model, spiral model, waterfall model, spiral model, VNV model, agile model, incremental life cycle model, SDLC, software development life cycle. It is process used by software company to design, develop, test software, requirement analysis, design, blueprint, coding or development, testing, and maintenance. Waterfall module. It is old and traditional model. It is linear model. It is steps one after one other. Each phase must complete to start new phase. That is called one after other. In waterfall model, quality of product is good because every phase has clear documentation. SRS, system requirement specification, not changed, hence no bug. Initial investment is less because no tester involved starting. No changes in middle. Testing will start after coding. First requirement gathering and analysis, and then system design, implementation, and testing, development of system, maintenance. V model, verification and validation model, VNV model. Verification done before development, checking we are doing correct or not. Verification, verifying document because no software is ready. Review, walkthrough, and inspection. This is static testing, verifying document. Validation, actual testing software. Actually testing software done after software ready, done right or not. Validation equal to after it is dynamic. Product is ready, just check okay or not. Dynamic testing equal to unit integration system and user acceptance testing. System design equal to before development, verification, static testing equal to verifying documents. System integration equal to after development, validation, dynamic testing, unit testing, integration testing, system and user acceptance testing. In V model, testing is involved every phase. Disadvantage, more documents. Spiral. Spiral model is iterative model. Spiral model overcomes drawbacks of waterfall model. We follow we follow spiral model whenever there is dependency on other modules on the modules. In every cycle, new software will be released to customer. In every cycle, new software will be released to customer. Software will be released in multiple versions. So software is called version control, risk analysis, planning, evaluation, and engineering and execution. Prototype, requirement analysis, customer evaluation, development and testing. Spiral model advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of spiral model: testing is done in every cycle. Before going to next cycle, customer will get to use software for every model. Requirement changes are allowed after every cycle before going to next cycle. Disadvantage of spiral: requirement changes are not allowed in between the cycle. Every cycle of spiral model looks like waterfall model. There is no testing in requirement and design phase. Increment model: requirement are divided into multiple modules. Each module goes through SDLC phase, that is analysis, design, code, testing, maintenance. Requirement: module 1 plus module 2 plus so on. When use increment model, a project has lengthy development schedule when the requirements are superior. Disadvantage: no need for good planning. Total cost is high. QA, QC, QE. QA, highest possible quality. Quality assurance. Process related, high level management. Process designed by QA, responsible for high quality, high possible quality. QC, quality control, product related, actual tester. QA is process oriented. QC QC product oriented. QA is process oriented. QC is product oriented, that work on product actual tester. QA equal to responsible for preventing defect, involves all phase, that is designing, coding. QC, responsible for finding defect, involves only testing. QE, quality engineer, responsible for write code for testing. Automation engineer. System testing or actual testing. System testing, GUI, usability testing, functional testing, non-functional testing. System testing, GUI testing, usability testing, functional testing, non-functional testing. GUI testing, testing GUI application, user interface testing, such as menus, checkboxes, icon images. Non-functional testing, this is non-functional testing, just look and feel you test, check size and position of element, image quality, spelling check, alignment, fonts, or understanding or not. Usability testing, check the easiness of application, helping messages are displayed if user confused. Check user friendly application or not. Functional testing. Check behavior of application. Check database testing. Work with database. Okay. Error handling. Display error message. Okay. Calculation and manipulation. Five plus five equal to 15 as per user requirement. You follow this only. On calculation, 5 plus 5 equal to 10. Check text box disable or enable as requirement. Functional testing. Check behavior of testing. Check database testing. Work with database okay or not. Error handling. Displaying error message okay or not. Calculation and manipulation. And check text box disable or enable as per requirement. And check database operation, DML table, columns, records, etc. User form, user UI testing, black box testing, to database, white box, to black box again. Check database operation, black box testing plus white box testing plus equal to gray box testing. Okay. Non-functional testing. Once functional testing done, software work user requirement, then do not do non-functional testing. Once functional testing done, that is software work user requirement, then do non-functional testing. Performance testing. Load testing, gradually increasing the load. Stress testing, suddenly increasing the load. Example of filling form. Volume testing, how much data handles. Security of testing, security of software is testing. And non-functional testing, recovery of application. Compatible testing, work with all applications or not. End-to-end testing, testing of application, overall application after including all module. Login, add customer, delete and editor, logout, testing all function, that is add, delete, editor and the logout. Test case design technique. It helps better design and reduce the number of test case to be executed, reduce data and more coverage. ECP, equivalence class partition, equivalence class partition, and design case uh, test case design technique. ECP, equivalence class partition. BVA, boundary value analysis, design table, state transition, error guessing. These all consider black box testing, and these are test case design techniques. Equivalence class partition, boundary value analysis, design table, state transition, error guessing. Its main test. Equivalence test, equivalence class partition, check value, classify, divide, partition data in multiple classes to save testing time. Enter number, allow digit from 1 to 500. Normal test data to check test box. Divide data in ECP. Final test data after ECP done to test case. Okay. Boundary value analysis. This technique is used to check boundaries of the input. Allows enter age. Allows digits from 18 to 35. 1 plus 1. Okay. 18. We have range. We have range of values. We will check plus 1 to that range, plus 1 and minus 1 to that range numbers, then range values, and check test. Design table technique. This technique is used if we have more conditions and based on the condition we have to perform the action. Example, transfer money from one account to another account. Account has no account number has to be approved. OTP matched the success. Sufficient money in account. If the condition are okay, then do action. Action. Transfer money. Show message insufficient money. Block if any suspicious activity. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. Actions. State transition technique. Take action depends on state. Take an example of logic page of an application which locks the username after 3 wrong attempts. Error guessing. No any specific rule. This test based on tester skill. Example, submit form empty. And error. Test case scenario. Simply the name of test. What to test. Name of test. How to test. Group of test that is to be executed to check functionality. Test scenario. Check functionality of login button. Test case, etc. Test suite. Group of test case. Test plan. Test suite 1. Test suite 2. Test suite 1. Test case group. Test suite 2. Another test case group. Test documents. Test case document consists of test case ID, test case title, description, precondition, priority, request ID, steps or action, accepted, expected, result, actual result, test data, project name, module name, reference document created by date of creation, date of review, test case ID, login, TC login 001, test scenario, verify login of Gmail, test case, each valid enter, sorry, test case, Enter valid username and valid password. Precondition: need a valid Gmail account to do login. Test steps: enter username, enter password, click login button. Test data: valid username, valid password. Expected result: successful login. Post condition: Gmail inbox is shown. Requirement requirement traceability matrix. Trace how many test cases are executed or covered. Trace how many test cases are covered. And simple, keep track of test cases. Test metrics. Requirement traceability matrix RTM. Number of requirements, average number of test cases written per requirement. Total number of requirements, total number of test cases required for all requirements. Total number of test cases executed, number of test cases passed, number of test cases failed, number of test cases blocked, number of test cases unexpected, number of test cases, number of defects identified, critical defects count, the higher defect counts, medium defect counts, low defect counts, customer defects, and no number of defects found in UAT. Test case execution: executing test case based on test plan. Mark mark status with test case execution: executing test case based on test plan. Mark status: pass, fail, blocked. Reports defects and bug report. Defect defect reporting tool. Clear quest only bug report. The dev track only bug report. Clear quest only bug report. Dev track only bug report. Jira test management tool. Track each activity. Bugzilla test management tool. Track each activity. Defect report details. Defect report details. Defect ID, defect version, steps, details of step along with developer what to do, date, defected, detected by, status, fixed by in process, fixed, severity, impact of customer business workflow, priority, high, medium, low, severity of defect, blocker, critical, major, minor, seriousness of application. Testing engineer decides the severity level of defect. Blocker: this defect show application not processed, critical, main function not working. Major: some undesirable behavior, that is email send but message not displayed. Minor: look and feel. Priority of defect: high, medium, low. Importance of defect: on which priority defect will be solved or fixed. Yo high, fixed and same version. Medium. Manual testing project, e-commerce project introduction, understanding and exploring the functionality, test plan, writing scenario, writing test cases, environment setup and build the development, test execution, bug reporting and tracking, sanity testing, smoke testing, regression testing, test sign off, E-commerce project. Login. Search for product and item. Add them to cart and do payment. Product product will be delivered. Return the product, etc. SRS doc. SRS document. A software requirement specification. A document that describes that what software will do and how it will be expected to perform. Refer SRS doc. E-commerce project information, understanding the functionality of project. Test plan, a detailed document of testing activity, writing test scenario, test case and review, environment setup and development for testing application, test execution, bug reporting and tracking, sanity and regression testing, test sign off, test execution, bug reporting and tracking, sanity and regression testing, test sign off, version page, function FRS, functional requirement specification. This document that describes all functions that software or product has to perform. Test plan document, a detailed document for testing activity. Test case, test scenario document, anything that can be tested in test scenario. Simply name of test case. Test plan test plan document, detailed document of testing activity. A detailed document of testing activity. A detailed document of testing activity. Test plan document. What is test? Write a test plan. Write a test plan. Detailed document of testing activity. Test case design. While writing test case, refer the test scenario and FRS document. Like if for doing login page ka test scenario, test cases we have to write. After executing test case, maintain or update sheet RTM. Example, no test case, executing or locked, etc. The bug found in testing report and log tracking file. Severity, minority, actual result, the screenshots. Test case with result fail, pass, highlight with red. Big Bang testing approach. Big Bang involves testing. Big Bang approach involves testing software system after the development work is completed. This is also termed system testing or final testing done before releasing software to the product to the customer for acceptance testing. Okay, Big Bang testing approach. Big Bang approach involves testing software system for development work is after development completed. This is also termed system testing or final testing and before releasing software to customer or acceptance testing. Big bang equal to system testing equal to final testing equal to before release. This is last part of software development as per waterfall methodology. Testing versus debugging. Testing is done to find bugs. Debugging is an art of fixing bugs. Black box testing mainly performed by testers. White box testing mainly performed by developers. Unit testing part of white box testing. Acceptance testing. This is final step. Final testing done by customer based on agreements, load stress, performance testing, testing on application load capacity, and usability testing, testing to determine the user friendliness of application, install or uninstall testing, testing of full, partial or applicate install uninstall process, recovery of failure testing, testing to determine how well a system recovers from crashes, failures, or other major problems. Incremental integration testing, continuous testing of an application as new functionality is added. Ad hoc testing, conducting testing without requirements. Comparing testing, comparing software weakness and strength to competing products. Alpha testing, part of UAT, beta of part of UAT. Integration testing, validating combined modules of an application. Functional testing, part of black box testing. System testing, part of black box testing. Validating system requirements. End-to-end testing, similar to system testing. Sanity testing or smoke testing, an initial validation of new build or release. Regression testing, validating the existing functionality of application once new fixes added. Compatibility testing, testing an application in different environments. A bug is issue or error in code or any environmental issue. What is test case? A test case is a detailed explanation of a test scenario. Test case is document which describes pre-condition, post-condition, test data, actors, navigation of particular functionality. Each and every test case should have unique test name and test ID. What is test plan? Test plan is document that explains what to test, when to test, where to test, and when to complete. Test plan. Test plan is a document that explains what to test, when to test, where to test, and when to complete. Retesting is only done for failed test cases, while regression is done for past test cases. Retesting is done only for failed test cases, while regression done for past test cases. Software testing, static and dynamic testing. Static, review walkthrough, inspection. Dynamic, functional, non-functional. Functional, white box testing, black box testing. White box testing, unit testing, code or statement integration testing, branch coverage. Black box testing, white box testing, unit testing. code or branch codes. Black box testing, integration testing, smoke testing, sanity testing, functionality testing, regression testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, non-functional testing, performance testing, load and stress testing, compatibility testing, security testing, recovery, usability, case testing, functional testing, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing, non-functional testing, performance testing, security testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, black box testing, and white box testing. Black box testing techniques are also called functional testing techniques. White box testing techniques are also called structural testing techniques. Black box testing is functional. Black box functional testing techniques. White box structural testing techniques. Black box testing is software testing method in which the internal structure, design, implementation of item being tested is not known to the tester. To black box testing is software testing method in which internal structure, design, implementation of a item being is tested, not known to tester. White box testing is software testing method in which internal structure, design, implementation of item being known being tested is known to the tester. The tester that is developer. It is mainly applicable to black box testing is mainly applicable to higher levels of testing such as acceptance testing and system testing. White box testing mainly applicable to lower levels of testing such as unit testing and integration testing. Black box testing is generally done by software testers. Software developers do white box testing. Programming knowledge is not required in black box testing, required in white box testing. Implementation knowledge is not required in black box testing. Knowledge is required in white box testing. Boundary value analysis. Minimum or maximum value of range. A black box test design technique in which test cases are designed on boundary values. Branch testing. A white box testing design technique in which test cases are designed to execute branches. Business process based testing. An approach to testing in which test cases are designed based on descriptions or knowledge of business process. Capture or payback tool, a type of execution tool where inputs are recorded during manual testing in order to generate automated test scripts that can be executed later. These tools are often used to support automated regression testing. Certification, the process of confirming that component testing system or person compiles with its specified requirements. Example, passing an exam. Code coverage, An analysis method that determines which parts of software have been executed by the test suite and which parts have been not executed. That is statement coverage, decision coverage, or condition coverage. Compliance testing. The process of testing to determine the compliance of software of component of system. Component integration testing. Testing performed to expose defects in interfaces and interaction between the integrated components. Condition testing. A white box testing. A white box test design technique in which test cases are designed to execute condition outcomes. Conversion testing. Testing of software used to convert data from existing systems for user and replacement systems. Data-driven testing, a scripting test technique that stores test input and expected results in a table or spreadsheet so that a single control script can execute all the tests in table. Data-driven testing is often used to support the application of text execution tools such as capture playback. Database integrity testing the methods and process used to access and manage data. Defect, a flaw in component or system that can cause the component or system to perform its required function. Example, incorrect statement or data definition. Defect, if encountered during execution. Software testing types. UT, unit testing, smoke testing, functional testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, live testing, regression testing, performance testing, security testing, compatibility testing, mobile testing, accessibility testing, localization testing, black box testing, white box testing, static testing, usability testing. These are software testing types. Unit testing, smoke testing, functional testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, live testing, regression testing, performance testing, security testing, compatibility testing, mobile testing, accessibility testing, localization testing, black box testing, white box testing, static testing, usability testing. Testing tools, bug tracker, test management system, application lifecycle management, automation tools, performance performance testing tools. Testing strategies, risk-based testing, exploratory testing, automated testing, continuous integration testing, requirements traceability matrix, test testing strategies. Risk-based testing, prioritizes the process processes based on the risk their flaws pose to an application and the effect that those flaws could have on company or end user. Exploratory testing, test design and test execution at a same type, sophisticated, thoughtful approach to adopt testing, automated testing, user users code scripts to control the requirements traceable. Testing document, test plan, a test case, test procedure, specification, test script, defects report, test summary reports. Bug lifecycle, bug as soon as the tester comes bug, can test into zero, means zero, and that will be new. Then the senior tester, after analysis, it will be assigned to a developer. After assigning to developer, there may be different cases according to the developer, like duplicate, invalid, conflicts, deferred, not reproduce, request for enhancement. They say it is a bug and fixed. It will be fixed and fixed. It will be changed to fixed. Then it comes to retest. Retesting the retest. Retest. After retesting, working fine. It will be closed. Not working fine. Reopen. Globalization and localization testing. Performed to ensure that the system of software application can run any cultural or local environment. Different aspects of software application are tested to ensure that it supports every language and different attributes. It tests the different currency formats, mobile number formats, and address formats are correct. For example, Facebook.com supports many languages. It can be accessed by different people, and it is globalized product. Localization testing performed to check testing of software application for specific geographical and cultural environment. Localized product only supports specific kind of language and is useful. usable only in specific region. It tests the specific currency format, mobile format, and address format is working properly or not. For example, Baidu.com supports only Chinese language and can be accessed by only few people, few countries. It is localized project for product. Bug life cycle. Tester finds a bug, status new, developer manager, project manager analysis bug, valid, yes.